Maya had always dreamed of landing her dream job at an international company, one where she could travel, meet people from all over, and expand her world. But there was a catch. Every time she tried to speak English, she stumbled, her words faltering, and her nerves getting the better of her. The more she practiced, the more she felt she'd never truly sound natural. One day, at her local coffee shop, Maya noticed Leo, an accomplished language coach, casually conversing in flawless English with the barista. Intrigued and a bit desperate, Maya approached him. Leo, noticing her earnestness, smiled and said, "What if I told you I could teach you to speak English like a native with just 5 steps?" Maya's interest sparked, and so, their journey began. Step 1. The art of imitation. Their first session took place in a lively park, filled with people of all ages chatting and laughing. Leo explained, one of the best ways to learn to speak like a native is by imitating native speakers. It's how children learn, by listening and copying sounds and expressions they hear. He encouraged Maya to listen to native speakers, especially characters she admired in movies or TV shows, and try to mimic their way of speaking. It's like acting, he said. Find someone you admire, repeat their lines, and try to match their intonation, rhythm, and energy. Intrigued, Maya picked a line from her favorite detective show. She felt a bit ridiculous trying to sound like a fictional detective, but with each attempt, she grew more comfortable. Leo explained that by imitating, she wasn't just practicing words but also absorbing the natural flow and melody of English. Soon, Maya found herself looking forward to each performance, and she noticed her words sounding more fluent and natural. The more she practiced, the more English felt less foreign and more like something she could own. Step 2. Build vocabulary with context. For their second session, Leo took Maya to a vibrant street market, where every stall told a story of its own. Vocabulary isn't just about knowing words, Leo explained as they walked. It's about understanding when and where to use them. This setting is perfect for learning real, usable words. He pointed out different stands, each selling various goods, and introduced Maya to words that fit the context naturally. Instead of saying fruits, try fresh produce. Instead of seller, say vendor. It's about knowing the right word for each situation. Maya listened carefully, repeating phrases after Leo and practicing sentences using her new vocabulary. She asked questions about words she'd seen in books, but never fully understood. Leo explained that learning words in real-life settings made them easier to remember. When you can picture where you learned a word, it becomes part of your memory, he said. By the end of the day, Maya had gathered a list of new words that felt connected to the world around her. She even started a real-life word journal, capturing phrases she picked up from cafes, stores, and parks. With each entry, her vocabulary felt less like a burden and more like a collection of practical tools. She found herself using these words more naturally, realizing that they weren't just words. They were keys to expressing her own experiences. Step 3. Idioms and expressions, adding color to language. The following day, Leo invited Maya to a cozy, corner cafe to discuss something many language learners overlook: idioms and expressions. He smiled as he handed her a list. These are like the spices in language, he explained. Native speakers use idioms to make their speech lively and colorful. If you want to sound natural, you should try using them too. Maya was curious, but slightly intimidated as she scanned the list. Phrases like, "It's raining cats and dogs," and "The ball is in your court," looked odd at first, but Leo reassured her. He pointed out that idioms often make language sound more expressive and engaging. He demonstrated by using some in sentences, showing how they could convey complex ideas with just a few words. Maya began to understand how using idioms could help her connect with others. She laughed at the visuals some idioms created, like imagining cats and dogs falling from the sky. Leo encouraged her to try using one new idiom each day. At first, it'll feel funny, but soon, they'll become second nature, he said. Maya practiced crafting sentences using idioms in different scenarios. As she got comfortable, she realized they made her conversations feel more relaxed and relatable. She was no longer just learning English. She was stepping into a way of speaking that connected her more genuinely with others. Step 4. Sharpening pronunciation. One morning, Maya confided in Leo about her struggles with pronunciation. "I always feel like my words aren't clear enough," she admitted. Leo nodded. "Pronunciation can be challenging, but here's a tip. Record yourself and listen back. It's an amazing way to hear your own progress and spot the words that need work." They spent the session practicing difficult sounds, with Leo guiding her through the subtle nuances of pronunciation. He introduced her to a few tongue twisters to help her strengthen her pronunciation, like, "How much wood would a woodchuck chuck?" Maya fumbled through them at first, but the repetition helped her gradually master each phrase. Leo explained that tongue twisters train her mouth muscles, making her speech sharper. "It's like working out at the gym. You're training your mouth to get used to these sounds," he explained. By the end of the day, Maya felt a noticeable difference in her pronunciation. Leo reminded her that practicing with patience was essential and that her goal wasn't to sound perfect, but to be clear and confident. Each night, Maya recorded herself reading short paragraphs, listening carefully for improvements. She realized her words were becoming crisper, and her confidence was building. With every recording, she was starting to sound more like the fluent English speaker she'd always wanted to be. Step 5. The mindset shift. Think in English. For their final session, Leo shared the most transformative tip of all. If you really want to sound natural, start thinking in English. Maya was puzzled. "Is that even possible?" she asked. Leo nodded. "When you think in English, you stop translating. It makes you faster, more fluent, and more confident." He suggested she start small by describing what she saw around her in English, even if just in her mind. "Think I'm hungry," or "the sky is blue," he said. Over time, you'll be able to build on these thoughts, and English will feel less like a foreign language. At first, Maya found herself slipping back into her native language. But Leo encouraged her to keep practicing, assuring her that persistence would make it easier. Maya started narrating her daily life in English, talking to herself in her mind during her commute or while cooking. Gradually, her mind adapted. She noticed she was becoming faster, able to express herself without the mental delay of translation. It was a small but powerful shift that made English feel more natural. Leo's encouragement had helped her embrace English not just as a skill, but as a mindset. She felt ready, not just for her dream job interview, but for any English-speaking challenge that came her way. After weeks of practice and perseverance, Maya walked into her dream job interview with confidence. Thanks to Leo's guidance, her English now felt smooth, vibrant, and native-like. The vocabulary, expressions, and pronunciation came naturally, as if she'd been speaking this way all her life. Leo's 5 tips weren't just language tricks. They were stepping stones to her new future. As she left the interview, she knew that her English skills were more than ready for the world ahead.